Me and Ruthie.
Awesome. So, oh, Bria's awesome. Bria even got my little figure 8 thinking logo going. Let me see.
Nice. Yeah, I saw it.
So, how was your evening? Did you have a good rest?
I managed to make a projector work for my computer. So I was watching Star Trek projected on the ceiling.
How'd you do that? You're so cool.
And then I was like Netflix and tracking all night long.
Nice.
And I also noticed that, I always prided myself in being like with an undertone of yellow. I'm like a Simpson, I'm Lisa. But the more I'm doing these things, I'm noticing I'm pink, like shamefully pink, like not an attractive pink. I'm just like undercooked.
Maybe it's the lighting's fault, not your skin.
Yeah, no, I think it's my skin.
Could be.
I think it's my skin. Like I'm taking accountability for my pink hood.
For your pallor.
For my palette.
Your skin palette and pallor. This is gonna be fun. Hey, Bria.
I think so.
Bria, can you hear me?
Right.
No, she made herself muted.
How can I light myself and not have it reflected in the frame behind me? That is the question. Is working? That's kind of working. Also, I'm not sure this is like, I brought this HD camera. I'm not very impressed by it.
Man, you probably spent a ton of money on it, didn't you?
No, not too much, but I didn't go crazy. It was actually the lowest price of the Logitech, so it was like $160 and not like the $700. Right?
Uh-oh.
I know, I've logged it up, but it should find my actual camera. Ugh, okay, it doesn't. Of course. Fuck it. I'll be pink for you.
Okay.
So Galit's device isn't connected, so it'll be coming back. But as I mentioned, there is a private chat, so I've been sending you messages on that. It's a private chat tab.
So should I be on that on my laptop, because this is my phone, so I can respond to messages? That would be cool, I guess.
Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah.
Or would it echo if I do that?
It won't. I won't include your microphone on that laptop. Okay. And then we are live. You have a couple people who've said good morning. Ayana,
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. So we are live on both YouTube and Facebook.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We're going to get started in a couple of minutes. I'm Natalie Nixon, and I'm going to have a real fun conversation with Galit Ariel, who's joining us today.
Hola.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? Just hang tight, everybody. We're going to get started like another 10 minutos. And Galit, I am just going to pull up the StreamYard on my laptop to see if there's any questions and that sort of thing.
Sure.
Oops, that's wrong. Huh. Oh, that's the wrong link. I'm looking for the link I sent you yesterday, and now I can't find it. The one from Bria. Okay. I wish I could play some. Don't I? If I play music, Galit, it has to be like copyright or like open source music, right? If I play it on here.
I can sing, but you really might not want me to. Did I never tell you, like, as people tune in, can I tell you the story of my delusional self?
Yes.
There are many of them, but this is the best. So up until I guess 5 years ago, I was convinced that I can sing like an angel. I mean,
Okay.
I had this thing in my mind that, if I ever stop design or creative, I can always just start a singing career,
Okay.
right?
A singing career, right?
And yeah, and in my mind, and I'm amplifying in my mind many, many times for a reason. Um, Here's Adele, and here's Galit, just on this keyboard. And I really had that fantasy, I'll go to The Voice or something and people are going to hear me sing and all my friends are going to be like, oh my God, we didn't know she can sing so well. And I have like a perfect, like I have a great ear for singing. Like I played before and I'm like, I'm hearing myself and I'm loving it. So it must be good. One day I go to a concert without my hubby and they have like this insane stage design and VJ and I take it because he's like a 3D designer. I'm like, he's gonna love it. And I'm like registering like the performance and then I come back home and I play it to him. So we see the stage and we see like, the band and then you hear someone in the background singing like badly. And I'm like, oh my God, don't you hate it when people that can't sing ruin it for
Are just
everyone?
bolting it out. Yeah.
And as I say it, the camera revolves and it's me. And the shock, Natalie, the shock, really, like, I don't think in my life I had such a shock because it was just such a disconnect. Like, I realized at that moment I cannot sing. And that for 35 years, not only did I think I can, but it might be my second career move, like really
Wow.
to that level. So I just like started crying. Of like I was shocked,
Oh
and I was
man.
like, I told him I can't sing, and he's like, yeah, no, you can't sing. I'm like, you knew, and he's like, you didn't.
Wait a minute. What I love about that story is I think it says a lot more about your husband than it does about you.
No, so he assumed that I just
he's a
enjoy
sweetie
singing,
pie.
but I'm aware. He's like, you're such an aware person. You're such a critical person. How could you not know you can't sing? I'm like, but I sing really well. And he's like, no, really, you don't.
Oh my
And
goodness.
and then he said, and I had to explain to him because it was really a secret desire. Like I never shared it with him. Like I'm going to be a singer. So I'm like, no,
Okay,
but
so
I
he
was
didn't
planning
realize
for
the
it to
dream.
be my second career. And he's like, yeah, no, no, don't do it. And then he said, well, maybe we should go for your plan C. What's your plan C? And I was like, I can beatbox.
I can what?
Beatbox.
No.
Yeah, no, I can't. I can't, Natalie. That was another delusion. So
Wow.
he made me beatbox and he was, no, somebody's asked me to sing. No, you really, trust me. This is like, the joke is this, that I can't. Like, trust me, I cannot. And the worst thing is, from that day on, I could finally hear myself singing. And let me tell you, I can't sing. And I was like, but what was going on in my brain for 35 years? I was so convinced that I could sing professionally that I'm a rational person. I'm an investigative person.
That's really interesting because I know I can't sing. I can sing in the shower. The acoustics help me, but I know I can't sing. Not my strength.
Well, and now I have like this philosophical dilemma. Like, was I better off not knowing that I can't sing and believing that I sing, like singing to myself, like the little choir of like
Yes.
the choir of Glee, or not? I don't
I
know.
think you're better off knowing because it's one step towards personal enlightenment and knowing our limits.
Yeah,
But I had a similar freak out moment. I turned 50 years old last September.
What?
And yeah, and I
No.
said, I announced to
Wait.
my husband, huh?
I want like a blood infusion from you. What are you eating? Tell me everything. What? 50?
Yep. But
Okay.
listen, I announced to
Sure.
my husband that like, oh, it was about around this time last year, maybe last May. I was like, babe, I know what I want to do to celebrate my 50th. He's like, okay, great. What? I said, I'm going to have a dance recital. I'm going to learn 3 new pieces. Over the summer, I'm going to invite all our friends, family, colleagues, and we're going to raise money for Philabundance, which is this nonprofit. He's like, oh, okay, good. Now, at the time, I thought he was like super down with it and, support, because he's a super supportive guy. Around July of last year, meanwhile, Bria, who has helped us organize this whole morning, she is a dancer, an entrepreneur. She owns Dance Fit in Philadelphia. She and her team were helping me to choreograph the group hip hop piece. I was taking lessons for foxtrot and salsa. And in July, I had this big freak out. I was like, oh shit, what if no one comes? What if people are like, who does she think she is? What if I'm horrible? And I was just like, I can't do it. I shouldn't do it. But it was like too late because I sent out invitations and stuff. And I talked to Philabundance. And so I do it. Long story short, it was a magical evening. It was a great way to celebrate my half century. But yeah, there's those moments where it's like a dissonance between what you think you can do versus what you may actually be able to do. But by all reports, I was okay. I did fine, but I had a big freak out.
Because you know me, like I will walk in and like do an audition for The Voice because I've lost all my fear filters like years ago, and I do believe in doing ridiculous things and in order to to grow and also fun, right?
Yes.
So.
Well, yeah, I would not audition for what was Jennifer Lopez's show, So You Think You Can Dance? Like I would not audition for that. Like I know I'm not that.
I will, and I know I can't dance, but I think I might be able to like revive. You remember jazz dancing in the 80s, 90s? Oh yeah, jazz hands are my thing. Like I can like revive jazz, and they will think it's just this new expressive weird thing happening.
Yeah, all hell to Bob Fosse. Absolutely. Yeah. Okay, I'm actually going to move my laptop this way so maybe I can see comments a little bit.
And I'll bring Ruth.
Ruthie,
I love her so much.
Yeah, she's a badass.
I know.
Okay, so what time is it? Okay, we have, of course, because I am solidly middle-aged, my eyesight is not as good as it is. Okay, 3 minutos. And we're going to get started.
3 minutos.
So, Galit, we have 2 degrees of separation. Do you know what they are?
Singing and dancing.
Okay, so we have 3. Dancing. One is you are Israeli and I lived in Israel. That's one, right? Remember that conversation? I lived in Tel Aviv. Because remember I told you. Yeah, I went to Shankar. I studied part of my
No, you know what? You didn't tell me. You didn't tell me. I would have known that. I would have remembered that about you. And I would like grill you in Hebrew and like Tel Aviv spots and stuff.
I know 3 words in Hebrew. I know slicha, which no one ever says in Tel Aviv.
Yeah, it's like hypothetical.
Exactly.
I'm sorry. We're not sorry. We're Israeli.
I took the 66 bus to class every morning, and it would be crowded and jam-packed, and I'd be like, sliha, sliha, and they were like, what? What's that?
Yeah, what's wrong with you, foreigner? That's how people know you're a foreigner.
I know. Well, they thought I was.
She's bothered about personal space, and she apologizes.
They thought I was the Ethiopian girl in my building, because Black people in Israel were either Nigerian or Ethiopian. So that was fun.
There's also there's a little community down south called Akushi Maglim, the Black Hebrews, which are a group of American evangelists that basically moved to Israel, like 2,000 people, and like moved to the middle of the desert Yeah.
I remember that. I didn't know their name. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So the other words
wait,
I
so
know are
slicha,
kin, slicha,
can,
kin, and lo.
and
Lo. No.
that's BS. You know so many other words. You know sababa? Do you know sababa?
No.
What? How did
No
you
one
live there?
taught. Well, maybe
Sababa.
someone taught me that, and I forgot. What is sibaha?
You
Sibaba.
can't forget sababa. Sababa is like the ultimate. It's like the dude word. Like, how are things? Sababa. Like,
Sibaba. Okay.
how was it yesterday? Sababa. How's this chick you're dating? Sababa. It's like this universal, this is the
I
Eskimos,
love that.
100 meanings of snow, 100 definitions of snow. We have sababa. It's like this, and it's like sababa, it's like sababa.
Oh my gosh. Wait, so everyone who's joining us, good morning. I'm so happy you're with us. Galit Ariel is my guest. I am Natalie Nixon. Galit is teaching me some really important words in Hebrew before we get started in one more minute. So I just wanted to let you know.
So to bond with any Israeli, you need to know sababa, which means like, oh, cool, oh, chill, mate. It's great. It's awesome. And of course, bamba.
What's bamba?
You ate bamba. No, they never gave you bamba. What kind of Israelis did you meet? Animals.
I don't know.
So
what's bamba?
Bamba is a proud Israeli food invention, which is basically it's peanut butter puff. So it looks like Cheetos, but it's like peanut butter puffs, and it's like there is no kid in Israel that haven't eaten it, and because it's so popular, it's like the party, the kid, like bamba. You can trust on bamba.
Oh.
It's delicious. Plus, because of that, Israel has the lowest cases of peanut allergy, because
everyone's grows up on it. Cool,
yep.
cool. Well, listen, we are going to get started. Yay!
Yay!
Today is Tuesday, June 23rd, 2020. I am in the Philadelphia. My name is Natalie Nixon, and I'm so happy to be with you today. I'm a creativity strategist, and I'm also the president of Figure 8 Thinking. And the reason why I'm exceptionally happy today is because today is the book launch for the Creativity Leap. And to celebrate, I decided to mark moments of today with some beverages. I have some coffee and really awesome, enlightened, creative minds. So happy to introduce to everybody my new friend, colleague, Galit Ariel. Galit, say hi.
Hello, Ruth. Say hi. Hello. No, I'm not getting her involved with this. She has better things to do, like to save the Constitution and stuff.
Exactly. And Galit, where are you joining us from?
I live in Toronto, or as Torontonians say, Trana.
That sounds a little bit like trap music. Okay, Toronto.
Trana. I live in Trana. And I'm a tech futurist and a creative and an author. And obviously, from our previous chat, not destined to be a singer anytime soon.
But you have other really special gifts and talents. And, I reached out to you when I was in the process of collecting interviews and meeting really interesting people who I could talk to about this idea I had that creativity is going to be an essential competency in the future of work. And I think it's the way we toggle between wonder and rigor to solve problems. So I read this really cool article, one of the cool articles that you wrote in Futurismic. I forget which one it was. You've written like 10 articles by now, right? You've written several articles.
Yeah, I've written several. I think it was the one about the robots, from killer robots to colleagues, from automated colleagues. Probably that one. Yeah.
From automated to colleagues, right? So I talked to Galit, everybody. I reached out to her blindly, as I'm wont to do. I'm just like, hey, this is an interesting person. Let me say hi. And she was super friendly, and we did an interview. And I actually, Galit, I want to start by quoting you. I want to read a quote.
The president is quoting me. I love it.
From the Creativity League that Galit Ariel said. I want you to like break it down for us.
Sure.
So as we just mentioned, Galit is an expert in augmented reality, and she has a really cool lens and approach to it. And here's what she said that's in the book on page 88. I love the term augmented reality because it describes exactly how this technology could be groundbreaking. It will enable us to amplify and interact with the physical world and with technology in new ways. AR would literally transform the physical world around us into a three-dimensional canvas where we can paint digital experiences around us. You're so poetic the way you speak. We will start touching again and looking at surfaces in new ways. We'll be able to amplify, enhance, and explore the world and our senses in new ways, making visual, sonic, tactile, and olfactory, wait, I messed that up. Mixing visual, sonic, tactile, and olfactory with digital interactions. Okay, so I wanted to include that quote especially because I'll admit it, like I am not a digital native. We've just broken down my 50th birthday celebration, so I'm solidly Gen X. And
Gen X too, the last generation. That's why we bond so well.
Gen X, and we're the overlooked generation, man.
I know. I love it though. I love it. I love it though. We're hiding in the bushes. Yeah, we're hiding in the bushes and like, hi boomers. Yeah, we told you. We're like the ones that like we love Gen Z and
yeah. Gen Z
like
totally
millennials, you know nothing. Your music sucks. But we'll let the boomers fight you over. Like we're too busy doing stuff, you know, like we don't have time to. Yeah,
exactly. That's a whole nother conversation. Gen Z.
Oh yeah.
Okay, Gen X. Sorry, Gen.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
yeah,
so that was a really profound vision that you painted of the future with augmented reality. So would you break that down a bit?
Sure. So I want to talk about two things. First about technology and then about space. So what's very special about spatial computing and immersive computing, which augmented reality is part of it, is the fact that we're really moving towards a capability where digital interfaces and content will be able to be layered into the physical space in a reactive way. So, you know, everybody are talking about the Internet of Things, about how to make smart objects, but what we're really creating with augmented reality is creating smart environments. So we won't need smart objects. Everything in our space will be smart. And it goes both ways. So we'll be able to receive digital experiences either on a holographic way or via, you know, a head-mounted device or a screen. And in return, our movement in space will become data, right? So all of a sudden, we're really, for me, this is like the biggest thing in technology. For me, this is building the World Wide Web, or they call it the World Wide Web.
Right.
So all of a sudden, the physical and digital are really, you know, becoming a hybrid space, which is amazing, obviously, and the possibilities are infinite. But what excites me the most about it is the fact that we're bringing technology back to our world. So instead of having these two separate realms, and I'm doing separate for a reason, because it's our perception that they're separate, but we know very well how they're really intertwined. But instead of thinking of it as separate realms, we really will merge technology into our behaviors. We will go back, because we are biological creatures, we will go back to interaction systems that are more natural to us. So all of a sudden gesture, you know, and this is the challenge of augmented reality and spatial computing, is like now we have to tailor it back to natural movement and spaces. and to go poetic on it. And so I love technology. I'm a mega nerd. And I always say technology is perfect, always, because it does exactly what we design it to do, right? It executes what we, but humans are imperfect. So we sometimes create flawed technologies or systems, and these two are fine. And I think we've been trying the last few years to kind of like, I don't like humanizing technology, and I don't like automating people. And I think this is what we've been trying to do in the last few years. And I think that instead of that, we should celebrate the qualities of each one and like just get along. And I think this technology will make us let's just get along. And I think this technology will create it.
So sorry.
No,
you said so many juicy bits there, and I want to expand on one. You said this really poignant statement. You said our movement in space will become data. Now, red flag to some, because that could be a little creepy. Like, are we talking Big Brother? Are we what's the role of privacy, right? I mean, the other beautiful statement you said is, I don't like humanizing technology or automating people. But when you also are talking about, it's like the pros and cons of this future state of where augmented reality is ubiquitous, right? So what about privacy and ethics around all this?
Well, you know me, so
Yes.
I'm a big, massive advocate towards non-for-profit tech, let's say it like that. And again, I don't mean that we can't make profit out of tech, but I think that our value system in creating tech and how heavily we rely it on data gathering and data mining has flawed the way that we apply technology. And again, I love technology. And so I want it to truly be a tool that elevates and amplifies the human experience, right? That augments our reality. And we are at a point, although it always kind of existed, but we're at a point that because of the high tech bubble and the Silicon Valley boys, I think we shifted the purpose of technology. And I think instead of serving the many, it's been serving the few. And it became very good. It became very good in doing specific things that are beneficial for the development of the technology, but not beneficial and not protective of the humans that are supposed to use it. So,
absolutely. So that's
even
the opportunity.
That's the opportunity and challenge. Like every technology, it's an opportunity. Like every technology brings an opportunity and a challenge. And it's about balancing them. And I think in the last few years, and this is why we're seeing all this dystopian and Big Brother comments, we haven't been controlling it. We haven't started with the ethics and the purpose. We started with the efficiency. I mean, even the words like performance, efficiency, quantity.
We haven't started with the human.
Data.
We haven't started with the human. I love that we didn't start with the human, we didn't start with the ethics. And my next question is around, you and I totally synchronized in having an optimistic view that the opportunity is that technology will amplify what it means to be uniquely human. And one of the things I lead with, that I think what it means to be uniquely human is to be creative, right? So from your perspective, what are you most excited about as it relates to creativity, the future of work, the future of learning? What's like the Venn diagram that you're seeing that makes you happy around creativity in the future?
What makes me happy is first of all that we're getting to a point that technology is not just used by technologists. It's used by everyone in more and more creative ways. People are becoming more aware of technology, more conscious about how they use it, but also more experimental. And this is where I really want to give it to Gen Z. I'm really excited about them because as I said, the digital natives are the ones that are fluid with technology in ways that we aren't. And I want to like generalize kind of like not our generation because we're Gen X and we're great, but we are the one that messed up technology. Like we are the ones that got all these shiny tools and we're like, oh my God, what if we do this? And we really follow the what if and in just the good what ifs. Like, what if you can use it for this? What if you can make it viral? And we never thought about the what if, the negative what if, and what does it mean? This what if. And I think this generation, and I've been using this example for years. This generation really knows how to, I don't want to say hack technology, but how to tweak it to their needs. And they're really using it as a tool. And if we want to talk about what's happening in the last few weeks with Black Lives Matter and the K-pop fans and TikTok, I'm like, they are the ones that are using it independently to really explore their expression and opinions, and they're winning, and they will win. So I'm very happy they're on the right side of history, and they will win because because they're even, and that goes even back. I think I've realized that after the Parkland shooting, which was terrible, but the way that generation showed how they can amplify their voice and deliver an authentic message, there was nothing fake about it. And the other side was freaking out, like, who's their strategist? Who's teaching them? Like, no one.
Like,
They're just,
we got this. We've been doing this for a minute now.
Kick ass. I'm really excited about them because I think for them it is natural and inherently they're also they're acting. So again, like we think they're sitting there and doing this. No, no, they are more connected than us. So I think it's time to like back off and let them do their thing, because I think I know they know what they're doing, and I can't wait to see what will come from them. This is the generation I'm really excited about, because again, like they use it as a tool. It's like their third arm or something.
They have such nimbleness with it. They're leading with curiosity. They're improvising. They are intuiting. Maybe if I tried this, if all of us in this K-pop community decide to do our final class prank that we couldn't do because of COVID-19, maybe we'll totally disrupt this Trump rally. And
I don't think
sorry, yeah.
But I don't think they're even hypothesizing about it. I think they know. Like, this is the thing. They know. Like, they know what they can do, and they just go and do it. So I think we're like, they are my wonder. This new generation and kids in general are my wonder. But they are, trust me, they're rigorous. Like, they know what they're doing, and they're and they are motivated, and they have values, and they're not cynical, and they won't get the cynicism. They will not have it. They will not have cynicism.
But Galit,
they give me goosebumps.
I want to build I love that I was asking about creativity, future work. You went to young people because they are the future, and all that they will do. But
children are future.
There's that singing.
It's terrible.
But listen, I want to extend a bit more on this moment we are in the United States of America. Once again, we have an opportunity to confront racism, which is a reality in the United States. And one of the people I interviewed for the Creativity Leap is a gentleman named Bhushan Sethi. And Bhushan is a principal at PricewaterhouseCoopers. And when we were talking about upskilling and reskilling and how corporations are going to incorporate creativity into how they hire, how they cultivate and sustain engagement among people, he gave an example from your space about augmented reality, where he was at some workshop, some studio where people were given, the augmented reality glasses, but they were following the experience of a young Black American man, maybe teenager, a Black male teenager, walking down the street, going into a store and maybe checking out some sneaks in a store, then going to buy a soda, then waiting on the corner for the bus. And he said he was brought to tears because he saw through that young man's eyes either being ignored, the glances that were kind of sketchy, didn't look like they trusted him, that weren't welcoming. And what I loved about that example, it showed the value of using technology like augmented reality to build empathy. And before we can even get to empathy, we have to start with curiosity, right? Before I can empathize with you, Galit, I have to ask, I have to be curious about your experience. I have to want to know, what is it like to be an Israeli woman living in Toronto who's forging a path in this field of augmented reality, right? I have to first ask different questions. So I just love that opportunity as well that augmented reality has to amplify what it is to be human in us, you know?
Yeah. And also, you know, we're talking on being able to experience reality through the lens, through different lenses as well, right? Because, you know, you can also experience a reality where you put a new lens on, and, you know, all of a sudden everything, the trees are made of candy, and there's so much, you know, wonder you can weave into the world. And I think this is also what I love about augmented reality, because when I think about space in general, like the concept of space, I always think of substance. So I say to people, like, when I look around the room, like, and people see, like, don't see space, they're, oh, there's nothing here in between me and the wall. Like, I'm like, in my head, I'm like, oh, all the things that it can have. Like, I see it as substance.
Wow.
Right. And I also think about the mental space as substance, and the digital space of substance. And like, I haven't decided yet which substances they are. I guess the physical world must be a solid. The digital world, because it's semi-tangible, it's liquid, and the mental space is gas. And we don't think, we tend to ignore, we tend to ignore the mental space, because it's like, you know, we think about it as brain processes or transmission, but it's the mental space heavily affects our physical reality, right? So
and there's
understanding,
the emotional space. There's this emotional space as well, right? Galit, we're kind of getting towards the end. I do want to acknowledge, would love people to give questions for Galit. We have Jeanette Brown, who said about our conversation about the power of Gen Z and how they are leading with technology. She said they know what they can do and they just go and do it. Kids are wonder, rigorous, motivated, values. So thank you for that, Janine. Would before we end, because we're getting we have like 8 minutes left, share with us one or two projects that you're working on that are really cool that we can look forward to from you.
So actually, speaking about kids, I'm actually currently working on an AR STEM game. So I'm working on an augmented reality educational game for, I would say, kids, like young adults, kids, which is super cool, because like science, AR, play.
Awesome.
And it's really interesting because I really get to help the developers actually start in the beginning, in the purpose, and trying to think about the game mechanics, and I'm very cautious about gamification. I know it's a word that a lot of marketeers and a lot of people have been trying to use in order to justify or give a halo of play around platforms. But that's they didn't make things playful. They were playing with they were conditioning people to behave in a certain way. And I think we have to be very careful in wording, you know, and I guess you get it a lot with creativity. Like, hey, we added a ping pong table in our offices. We're creative.
Right.
Right. Like, oh, we can play. Yeah. So this is a great one, and it will be like hopefully kind of like a long project that will kick off a bunch of other things. But I think it's an interesting experience to design it in times like this.
Yes.
Especially for someone that adores this generation. I'm like, I can't wait to see what I will learn
Right.
from how the kids will play it, right? Especially with
Nice.
AR. So we're trying to make it so it's guided, but obviously to give the space for them to explore back, which is kind of like the purpose of learning, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah. So that's the first thing I'm busy with. And the second one is I finally officially kicked off, and officially, like I just shared it with friends for now, but I officially kicked off my new consultancy, which is focusing on STEAM practices. So I brought together some of the best people I know, and there's more people coming, and looking at the future. The future of technology in a creative way. So
Yes.
we have mixed practices between data science and interaction and human behavior. And we called it Future Memory Inc. because it brings the future, the memory of the human and the business side.
Future
And
Memory Inc. Awesome.
Future Memory Inc. And I love it because I the point of it was, I do consultancy, but again, like the fact what we're targeting is to do really art tech projects. So to be able to help elevate the tech community with creativity and with exploration and with play, which doesn't happen often. The tech community, once it is creative, of course, creates a lot of creative things, but the process itself sometimes tends to be very linear. And I think I've seen you in your interview with John Maeda a few days ago, and you pointed out, and I thought it was amazing how design thinking is, deceitfully simple. And I think a lot of organizations have, like, they found a formula that works for others and maybe works for them, and they just they go with the formula, like why change,
right?
And yeah, and we're kind of like in the mind of like, no, if you really want to create new things, if you're really in innovation, in bleeding edge innovation, you have to keep that edge. You can't just be, otherwise you're just bleeding, right?
That's right. And the person who, like, I would never want to have to live with this genius, but totally encaptured what you're saying and my point about how deceptively simple design thinking is. Miles Davis, an incredible documentary about his life, came out last year, and I watched it. And what was so incredible about Miles Davis is that he was always reaching and learning and curious. And he surrounded himself with people who were much younger than him. That was what was so cool about him. He was not afraid to reach back, to pull along, to give a platform to share, because he loved, all right, what am I going to learn from the funk era? Okay, the cool period was all right, but let's go into a little free jazz. I think I want to do something with Michael Jackson. Like my husband and I, John and I, were thinking, man, what if Miles Davis and Prince had done a collaboration? I mean, this man was off the chain and always saying, okay, he never wanted to be formulaic. So what a avatar, right?
Yeah. And I think like this goes back to a lot of things that you amplify in your book, about curiosity and creativity is stemmed from curiosity. Like you mentioned, like I have to be curious about you to want to engage with you, to empathize with you. And, and that is kind of like, and that wrapping back to what I was talking about, Gen Z, I think we have a lot to learn from children.
Yes.
and unlearn as adults, definitely. Yes. And, we need to unlearn and kind of like, you can be, I call myself a critical optimist. You can be an optimist and also understand you're in reality and be critical. It's okay. I love these I used to call myself a digital hippie because I'm like, I love technology, I love humans. I guess I'm a digital hippie.
Right.
And I think these contradiction, the friction is what
That
creates the
hybridity,
magic.
right? We need
Yeah.
to become more hybrid in this future state, in this current state even. Let's become more hybrid. Let's become more integrative. Let's engage.
Yeah.
Let's make these leaps to becoming polymaths, which means you have to be curious and have this insatiable drive for learning. Let me just see. We're almost at time.
Question.
Is a question, a comment. So Chrissy McMiniman, hey Chrissy, she wrote, love that, elevate the tech community with play. Jack Klett, hey Jack, with exploration and with play, he loved that comment. Ayana Matlock, hey Ayana, she wrote, yes. Oops, my morning.
Yes.
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 She's talking about Miles Davis. He stayed innovative till the end with those young cats. It was like he was shedding his skin each time he elevated. That was amazing.
Love it.
Okay, so does anyone have a question for Galit before I let you know where you can find her?
I answer all. I
You
answer
have
everything.
foresight.
You know that.
You have amazing foresight. All right, so this was incredible. So Galit, share with people your website, your email address, we can follow you on IG and Twitter.
Okay, so on Twitter, I'm just at Galit Ariel. Simple. On Instagram, I'm at the AR girl, because AR. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can email me at future@futurememoryinc.com. And as Natalie can testify, I'm extremely receptive to new connections, and I'm always happy to meet new people. I am curious at heart.
Galit, say your email one more time.
It's future@futurememory.com. Future@futurememoryinc.com.
Future Memory, it's a new company. So
Inc.com.
Future@future. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yay. Oh, Galit, you're such a joy. Thank you so much for bringing in my celebration. I'm so happy that we met. Well, we haven't met in the flesh yet, but we will. Hey, Ruthie.
She's happy.
More power to you, my sister. I hope that you will continue to prosper and grow, and we will do some collaborations together in the future. And everyone, thank you for your energy and your curiosity in joining in with us today. And today's book launch day, so if you haven't gotten your copy yet of The Creativity Leap, would love it if you went on to Amazon and you purchased a copy. And if you email me, if you go to figure8thinking.com and you just go to the contact form and put in a message from today that you joined us, I am in the process of getting t-shirts ordered, and I'd love to send you a t-shirt for your support of being here today. Yeah, I know. I let the secret out. Okay, so contact me, guys, and sign up for the newsletter, Ever Wonder, and love you all very much. Thank you, Galit.
Thank you. Bye. I'll be watching you all day long.
Thank you.